Are you looking for more space, lower prices, and a quick Austin commute? Well, in this video, we're checking out two brand new homes from BlackRock in Paramount, one of the newest neighborhoods in Kyle, Texas. We're gonna get after it right now. Hey, Daniel here, your local Austin real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the Austin area, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. You know, I was a teacher for 10 years before I jumped into real estate. I was a band director, but how I operate hasn't changed between these two careers. Honesty, effective communication, and just helping other people is still what gets me up in the morning. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. Love to help you and your family find your next home. So as you tour through the model home right now, I'll give you kind of the overview of this community. So Paramount was started in 2022. They have about 3 years, I would say, roughly. I mean, we're not sure how long it would take to actually sell homes in the current market, but about 3 years left of building. Pacesetter and Castlerock and D.R. Horton are the three builders here. Today we're just exploring Castlerock. Castlerock's prices range from, they have about a dozen different floor plans. And so the low end, we're looking at about $300,000, and that's for, you know, 1,100 square foot home, very small home, all the way up to $450,000, which is what you're seeing right now with the model home. I think they actually have one more that goes a little bit larger than the model home too. The incentives that Castlerock is currently offering is $35,000. So that's $20,000 in flex cash and $15,000 towards closing. So what does that mean? It means they're gonna pay all of your closing costs. So when you go to closing, you're just gonna have to bring your down payment, okay? Which is nice, that's 15 grand you're saving there. And then 20,000 flex means you can use that to either buy your rate down so you can get a lower interest rate if that's the most important thing to you, or you can use it to just bring the price of the home down, just get it for 20,000 less, either one of those. They do offer quite a few upgrades, and so I'm not gonna go through all of them, but you can do a to be built here. It's not like D.R. Horton where it's a spec home. You can build from the ground up and choose exactly what you want. Tax rate here is 2.2%, which isn't too bad. That's my biggest beef with Kyle, is the tax rate is typically a little too high for my liking. That's pretty low for Kyle. And the HOA fee here is $420 a year. Great thing about this location, we're in South Kyle, really, really close to San Marcos. I mean, the next neighborhood down from us is Blanco Vista, and that's in San Marcos. So South Kyle, so great for commuting to Austin, but you're also right there near San Marcos, and then an easy trip down to San Antonio as well. And then we're about a 2-minute drive from I-35. So the first house we're checking out today is their Crockett floor plan. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,870 square feet. This home is currently listed at $395,585. So let's go check this one out. Pan around so you can see where we're at, so you can see empty lots next to us. They haven't started building yet. And we have our main road here that you can street park on, not a ton of room for it. Beautiful day, late June. So this is a 1.5 story home. Really large front patio space. Yeah, really large front patio space. And I'm gonna be careful because I saw a black widow spider in this corner. So I'm just gonna slowly go in the house. I do not want to get bit by one of those. It's funny, you know, when you look at homes, how much emotion affects your decision making. And I've seen so many spiders walking through here turning lights on that I don't like this house. I'm trying to be very, you know, realistic with the pros and cons, but I've just been like, spider, that's a dangerous one. And so I've realized it's affected my judgment of, I don't really like this house, but maybe you'll have a difference of opinion, okay? Because you're not constantly looking over your shoulder for a spider. So this floor plan, it's a 1-story, 1.5. The 3 guest bedrooms are all by the front. So here's guest bedroom number 1 with a pretty nice size closet space for this one. And then guest bedroom number 2. New builds never have ceiling fans, or typically don't. It's a very standard room. It's an okay size. My first annoyance with this house, honestly, is the guest bathroom, because this is one bath. There's not a half bath anywhere, so one bath for 3 bedrooms to share. Just a single sink, which I feel like they have the space. We should have went with 2. We have low bathtub, and then basic subway tile that doesn't go to the ceiling. Then we have an open linen shelf and toilet. I like the tile on the floor. It's a little bit different than what you would see from builder grade. But yeah, it's a just slightly too small bathroom for my taste if we're having 4 or 3 bedrooms share this. Here's the 3rd bedroom. This one's probably the smallest of the bunch. Typical closet space. And you can use these, you know, however you see fit. I'd probably use that one as an office space. Coat closet. And then over here, where I saw my second spider, there he is, I guess you would call that a pantry, yeah. So here's my next thing I'm not a huge fan of, is the kitchen is really small. It's really small. So not a lot of countertop space. I'm annoyed that they don't have handles in here. I mean, it's not a big deal. I've added handles to my cabinets at home, but it's not soft close. I mean, it's just super basic, pretty cheap material for the cabinets. And then we have 5-burner range, microwave above it. I do like that we have a single basin sink with natural light coming over it. That's good. This island's just teeny tiny though, super skinny island, not much room to kind of fit seating there. I do like that we have this corner for dining, and it's a decently sized area for dining table, so that won't take up any room. And then the living room is actually well spaced out. So, not a big fan of the kitchen, and I wish the guest bathroom had another sink slightly larger. I do like the dining area and the living area. And then we'll go upstairs last, okay? Next is the utility room. This is right next to the primary bedroom. Pretty basic. And then we have our primary, very long, pretty good size. You can see all the bedrooms are carpeted. 3 windows, which is rare, so you're getting in a ton of natural light. And then the primary bath, also quite long. I'm also just not a huge fan of this. So we do get 2 sinks, pretty cheap faucets, right? We just have we don't get the widespread. Widespread are easier to clean in between, so, and I just prefer something different than stainless steel. It's just, you know, the most basic of basics. Super low bathtub. I'm 6'1", so maybe I'm just used to seeing bathtubs higher up. I don't know. For this price point though, I mean, it's nice that you get a bathtub and a shower, but if they're gonna do a bathtub, let's raise it a little bit, because you have this beautiful window that you're not gonna be getting any of the benefits from, because your head's gonna be like down there. And then we have a small walk-in shower. Again, the subway tile, pretty basic, and it's not going to the ceiling. And then your toilet back here. So it's kind of odd. I think for my personal setup, I would prefer this shower to be much larger and have like a step, and then have a linen closet here, / maybe widen this. I don't know, it's just odd how they did all of this in this space. And then pretty basic primary closet. Also, this just doesn't open. So you can see it just hits there. So anything you put back there, you're not gonna be able to get to without closing the door. This is a little thing, but it's an annoying thing. You're having to deal with it daily. And if there's 2 people, you know, living out that closet, you are gonna be using all that space. Okay, heading back outside. So it's an interesting plan, because this is your backyard, quote unquote. It's more like your side backyard. So we have this covered back patio. A pretty good amount of space for the grass. I like that they have a little step here. That leads to your garage. We'll kind of walk back that way. And I'm gonna show you guys the back driveway, because it is unique. They do an alleyway here. So there's the garage, and then we have our driveway going to the alleyway, and then there would be another fence here when they built that lot too. So you see the private alleyway here, people only driving in to get into their home, so no through traffic here, which is nice. Incredibly long driveway. You could easily fit 6 cars just in this driveway. And then really good size garage too. 2-car garage, but they have the extra space on the side. I mean, this is a massive amount of extra space on the side of a 2-car, and then pretty good amount of space there. So you could actually fit 2 cars in here without too much problem. You see it comes with rainbird, so it does have an irrigation system. Pretty common now. I don't think I've seen any new construction that doesn't have that included. And then the final spot we're checking out is upstairs. We have evaded all of the spiders, so I'm proud of myself for that. All right, upstairs. The tour isn't over. I feel like I just jinxed myself. So pretty basic, right? It's a very large space. It's definitely, there's not a lot of look over to downstairs, so I don't think the sound will travel much, which is nice. And then this leads to your attic, so it is nice that you don't have to, climb into the ceiling to change your air filter right there. Not a ton of attic space, but again, just nice. You can walk in and not have to climb stairs to change your air filter. I'd probably use this space as a home theater, but it kind of begs the question of how much upgrades can you do with Castlerock? That's what I would want to look into, specifically if I'm buying a house in this neighborhood and I got this floor plan. I know I would want to do built-in speakers. I want to do a theater room up here, so do they offer that, right? Those would definitely be some questions that I'd want to know, because if that is the case, I would just build from the ground up instead of getting a house like this and having to do it all over at the end. So something to consider. Again, that's just me. I see this as a theater. Maybe you see this as nursery area, see it as just where your teenagers can hang out away from you. Possibilities are endless with this flex space, but it's a good amount of space. It's just kind of basic, right? There's not much, no little features here or there where I can point out and go, oh, that's really nice, that's really unique. So that was the Crockett floor plan. We're gonna end the video with one more tour at a slightly larger home. So I'll see you over there. So the final house we're checking out today is their Trinity floor plan. This is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,513 square feet, so much larger than the last house we saw. This one is listed $50,000 more than the last house. So this is at $445,975. Pan around so you can kind of see where we are. So the houses to the side of us have been built. Open lots here still. You can see the alleyway right there. And then this one, so there's a street there, those homes facing it. So this one's kind of on a corner lot as far as your side neighbors haven't been built out yet, and they're kind of looking at your side, not your backyard, which is nice. I love the exterior of this one with the brick against the black. That looks really cool. And then we have an okay sized front patio, but again, it's a good amount of privacy because just a fence right there. You're not just looking over at your next door neighbor's driveway. So it does feel like we're kind of our own little area here. I'm not sure how much fencing you could put here with the HOA. Be something to look at if you have a dog, because you have so much front yard space. It'd be a shame to not be able to utilize it all. A really interesting front door. So with this house, to the right, we have our study. They did include the French doors here. It's a nice feature. I do wish the doors were taller. Having the 8-foot doors does add a nice touch, especially to a home like this, because as you can see, the ceiling really opens up. So having those tall doors definitely makes a difference. Again, I'm curious if that's something we can do in the upgrades if we did a to-be build. Utility room, much larger than the previous one that we saw, right? So you have your dryer there, washer here, and then I would put a table here, just do all the folding in here, plenty of space. We do have a half bath. Again, something the previous home did not have. I like that they have the cabinet included too. And then this is just a coat closet. Now before we get into the main part, let's check out the garage. I like the garage quite a bit. I wish, again, it's kind of dark, so I always like garages that have the windows in there, just let in some natural light. But the amount of space we have in here is really nice. So we have some area under here, underneath the stairs, right? And then you do have some outlets, so you could put a freezer in here, another fridge in here if you wanted. And your water softener loop, tankless water heater, and then your Rainbird irrigation system. Extra storage space over here to the side. So pretty good amount of space for parking. This is interesting and kind of weird. Maybe you can tell me what this is for. This doesn't lead to the backyard. It leads to the side yard. So I'm not sure why. It's very odd. I mean, there's the gate right there, so you can get to your backyard. Just a little step, right? It's not really covered or anything, so very odd. I'm not sure why they added a door here when you would ever use this door, but it's there. It's a feature, not a bug. To the right person. Okay, then we get into the main living area. So we can already see this is different from the layout of the model, because I was able to walk around the model, whereas this sticks out from the wall. So they definitely changed the design since they created the model there. This kitchen's definitely a lot better than the previous one. I still have my beef with it, but I'll start with the good. So I like that we added this here. Okay, it gives you a little bit more space to work. Tons of cabinets, really wide cabinets too. It's great for storing larger appliances that you have, larger pots and pans. So you definitely have more space than the corner pantry, a more classic pantry, and then the fridge would go right there. I wish the island was a little bit bigger. My biggest beef, honestly, is just the choices in design. I don't know why we're going with, black oven, dishwasher, microwave, but then everything else in the house is silver. Like, why didn't we do a black sink, black faucet, black handles? So it's honestly, it's me just because I'm living in my second house right now. And both homes that I've done, I did to be built. I'm used to doing upgrades for my homes and being able to make everything make sense in the house. And so I have no problems with having a black oven and dishwasher, but if it makes sense with everything else in the house, and everything else is stainless steel. So that's more my issue with when I walk through this house. The layout is nice, but I think I would probably prefer to start with a to-be-built and just see like, well, how much more does that actually cost me to get it exactly how I want it to be? So something to be aware of. Like these pendant lights are not what I would have chosen. And I'm not, I'm not the guy who's trying to get the high-end, nicest things. It just needs to make sense to me. And so all of this tells me is if I bought this house, I would need to change a bunch of things for it to make sense. We do have the blinds in the window. It's a nice feature when they work. When they get stuck, it's a big annoyance. And then a pretty decent sized back patio space covered. The more traditional than what we saw in the previous house. So it is just a backyard. Pretty good amount of space, like I said. So that's the corner there. You can just see the corner of that property. And then they're building another one there. And there will be another one here too. But I would probably, with the amount of space we have out here, extend the patio, have a little bit more room. I was looking for a gas outlet. I don't see one, which is a shame. It's always nice to have a gas outlet for your grill. You don't have to keep getting propane tanks. A pretty good amount of space out here. I mean, so far, I'm definitely thinking this is worth $50,000 more than the previous house. It's got much better features throughout already. Here's our primary bedroom. Not as big as the previous primary, but you really don't need that much space. Plenty of space here to fit a king-size bed, a couple tables, TV, if you prefer that. And then 2 sinks, dual vanity, again, really cheap faucets. I don't know when I became this man that was obsessed with faucets. So I'm as sick of me talking about that as you are hearing me, so I understand. Tile doesn't go to the ceiling again, not a big deal, but it's just a nice feature when it does. It's the same layout with the small shower and tub. The shower to me seems a little bit bigger than the last one. I may be wrong, but I like that we have the shelf there. And then frosted window here. Do have a cabinet above the toilet, which is nice. And then, again, not the best master closet, better than the last one for sure, and you do have built shelving in here, which is always a plus. And then a medicine cabinet, which you don't often see. Before we go upstairs, something that kind of caught my eye, with this living area, it's so big. Some would say too big. So you have to put the TV there. You don't really have another option. That's the one wall that's ready to go, you put the TV there. But that means I'm gonna be sitting here. And that's really far away from the TV, like really far away. Now you could argue, I'll put my couch here and then just have all this extra space behind me. Maybe you could do a second tier, right? Create like a movie theater setting in here. I'm not sure how you wanna do it. But it just kind of caught my eye of like, how would I actually use this space? Because putting my couch there, way too far away. I almost want to put the TV there and just have this as my living area. But it's a small thing, but it's also one of those things that you're gonna be watching the TV daily. You want to figure out the feng shui of this. Love the tall ceilings, big fan of that. But this space just doesn't quite make sense to my utilitarian brain. Heading upstairs now. So now we're walking up the carpet. The carpet in this house is higher quality than the previous house too. I wish I could tell you, I need to research carpet, I guess, as a realtor. I can't tell you specifically what's different about the material, but if you go back, if you scroll back and look at the other house we're in, you can just tell it's like thinner, and this one's more, I don't know, it's just more plush. See, this opens up. Again, this is just like the model home. Bedroom number 1 up here, kind of small, not too bad. And then I love this loft, this landing that we have up here. It's a good amount of space, interesting. Bedroom number 2. I like this. I like a wall that's not just a 90-degree angle. Give me something different. Just a little thing like that adds a little bit of character to this room. So it's nice. And we have our guest bath with 2 sinks. That really does make a difference when you have 3 bedrooms all sharing it. Pretty basic with a subway tile bathtub. But it's a decent amount of space in this bathroom. And then the final bedroom, which is definitely the largest. And then I'm not sure the entrance to, oh, there we are, right there. So this one you would have to walk up the stairs to get to the attic to change the air filter. So something to be aware of with this too. So there you have it, excuse me. That's Castlerock. It's interesting. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of this builder. That, completely honest, I've done a lot of these videos. I've done a lot of tours of different builders. This is my first time actually touring Castlerock. I'm not the biggest fan. Of the 2 homes that I've seen today, now with the incentives they have, and then maybe with the upgrades they've done, when I was speaking with the sales rep before I started shooting, he was saying there's a vast amount of upgrades you can do through the design center. So if you did the to-be-built route, you can make it exactly how you want it to be. And so in that case, maybe I just kind of picked 2 kind of duds of homes to tour today, and so that's why I'm not really feeling it. Also, the spiders got to me, I'm not gonna lie about that. But yeah, just for my, with these videos, I always try to be as honest as possible. And Castlerock just wasn't really exciting me. There wasn't too much. I like this layout, but I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, if you're looking in the high 300,000s, low 400,000s. You know, maybe if we toured a bunch of homes that were listed at 445, like this one, then this would be a standout. Yes, this is way better than everything else. That may be true. I may be seeing it not from the price point standpoint. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. That's really what's more important than my thoughts on these things. It doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, you can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. All of that can be found in the description below. I love helping people, especially out of state. If you're coming to Austin for the first time, you just need a local to help you kind of find the lay of the land, what's gonna work best for you. Love helping people through that. So I hope to see you guys around town, and yeah, reach out if I can help in any way. Thanks.